Welcome to Westcity Stories. This is a collection of people from our church sharing a snapshot into their life so far. Let's dive in. Welcome to the 6th episode of the Westcity Stories Podcast. And I am pleased to say I am joined by the lovely and radiant Jen Ballantyne. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm pretty damn good considering it's, 42 degrees
It
or
is
something?
an absolute scorcher out there today. But you've invited me into your beautiful home, might I say. And you've got a stunning mosaic on the wall that you've just created.
Oh, yeah. Perfectly positioned so that you'd comment on it.
I actually didn't know that you were an artist. Is that something that you do regularly? You do a lot of art and creativity?
It's part of, I am really creative. And it's possibly part of what I'm looking to explore more this year. So finishing that one that's up was really important because I've been working on it for about 6 months, and new season I was like, right, I need to get that finished because I actually want to do more of the little ones on the jarrah like we've got at church.
So that's where those came from at church.
There we go.
If anyone listening, if you look around the chapel, there's these little mosaics. I know there's 2 at the front on the left and the right. There's 6. There's 6 in total. Okay, so I was wondering where they came from, and now I know that you are the architect behind them. Well, you're very talented. So if anyone wants any mosaics, talk to Jen Ballantyne.
And in about 12 months.
12 months, and I think she charges a grand, I think.
Oh, at least. We reckon there's probably about 120 hours in that one, so it's
very stunning.
Not something
it is absolutely stunning.
Takes.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me into your home and being part of the Westcity podcast, where we get to, I think, just dive into the lives of our congregation a little bit more and the faces that we see every week. For some people, we might see the faces more regularly, to just build the sense of community that we have at the church already, which is very strong. So the first question that I'm just going to lead off with straight away is, how did you end up at Westcity?
Well, Corey, you can see I live like 2 blocks from church.
So it's a church of convenience.
Well, it kind of is, because in 2013 we came back from Singapore, and that's when we moved into Wembley. And when we were up there, it would take me 45 minutes to drive across the island to go to church, and I was the only one that used to go out of my family. And I was kind of like, God, I just want to go somewhere local so it doesn't take up all day and I'm away from my family. So it took me about 6 months though, walking around. I went back to my old church and it was pretty awful, and kept walking around. And because Westcity, when it's closed during the week, doesn't actually look very inviting, it was kind of like, okay, I'll give that a go.
Yeah.
So the first day I went, 2014, it was in January, and it was 10 o'clock, and somebody walked in with their guitar about 2 minutes to 10 and went up onto what used to be the stage by the baptismal pool.
Yep.
And like 2 or 3 other people appeared out of nowhere and church started.
Yeah, it's a very different vibe to whatever. Running on time has never been a Westcity thing, particularly starting on time. Yeah. And it's something that I had to even tell my partner and even friends that have visited as well. It's like church starts at 10, so you want to probably get there at maybe 5 to 10 past 10. Because if you get there on the dot, there's probably going to be a handful of people there. And I grew up in my old church before Westcity was, you got to church 15 minutes early, so you could hang out and you could chat to people, and the earlier you got there, the higher you were on the ladder towards God.
Did you have your assigned seats as well?
I wish. Would have made it a lot easier. So you said Singapore. You moved here from Singapore. Why were you and your family in Singapore?
We were there for 4 years and went with Merrick, my husband's job. So we were here in Perth prior to that, and had the opportunity. Pretty sure he was losing his job at that point. But the option was to go to Singapore. So lose your job or go to Singapore. So we were like, oh, well, let's go.
Yeah, a bit of a...
Pretty much like that.
A bit of a sea
yeah,
change.
that's a good idea. Let's go.
Which is probably a great attitude to adopt, really, in a situation like that. Because
yeah.
when you're faced with two options, one of which being loss of no income,
yeah,
why not take the plunge?
Yeah,
and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And you've now been part of the furniture at Westcity for 7+ years now.
Yeah.
And what was it that when you first walked in the doors that you said, yeah, I am going to stay here?
I love the Holy Spirit, and I was like, if you're here, Lord, then I'll be here. But initially, I've got to say, I nearly didn't stay because I reckon I went probably about 4 or 5 times, and on the last time I said to the Lord, if someone says hello to me today and actually means it, I'll stay.
Whoa.
And somebody did.
That's a massive ultimatum to put towards God.
Because I was like, I'm so over, fake Christianity, and I've never been one for institutions. So they did.
Who was that? Are they still there?
No, it was Nikki Venter, and she never says hello. Like she is quite reserved.
Yeah.
And she says it was a big thing for her to come and say hello to me. So her side of the story is she was being prompted and prodded to say hello. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there we go.
That is fascinating. That is beautiful. Tell me about your upbringing. Do I detect an accent of New Zealand perchance, or is that just my imagination?
No, bottom of New Zealand, Corey. So I've lost a lot of my rolling R's, I think, because it's very Scottish down there. Bottom in New Zealand, Invercargill, which is about, most people have been to Queenstown, and it's about 2 hours south. Grew up youngest of 7 children in the house.
That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids. My father's motto was, you should sow your wild oats. So
he got someone.
He certainly did that. So he had 5 children with my mum, and he had 4 before her, and 2 of them came to live with us. So we were a blended family essentially.
Yeah.
And then when I was 3, he decided to go and sow somewhere else. So from then we were a single parent family.
Yep.
Yeah.
Single parent of
mum,
Yep. Of 7?
With 7 kids, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
That's massive pressure on your mum.
Yeah, it was.
Did she remarry you?
No. So maybe that's where I get my survival instincts from.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so it was pretty hard. My eldest brother and my eldest sister are the ones that really took care of me.
Which is often what happens in a bigger family.
Yeah.
Particularly, I would imagine, even more so when it's a single parent, big family like that.
Yeah.
And the family, most of them are still your siblings over in New Zealand?
Yeah, everyone's over there now. A few have travelled, but everyone's back there. So it wasn't easy. I mean, it's not an elephant in the room, but I don't come from, some lovely Christian heritage.
Yeah.
We really, it was survival, and you just don't know.
Well, there's a lot of ocean and land between Perth and New Zealand. How did you end up in Perth?
When I'd finished my nursing training.
Yep.
And I worked for 6 months, and I thought, I'm off. I'm out of here. I'm pretty done. And I looked at a map, and I thought, I'll start in Australia. And I thought, everyone goes to Sydney. What's that place over there called Perth? I might try that. So I bought a one-way ticket, packed my bag, and landed. And I still remember when I landed, it was really hot for me. And the taxi driver said, where do you want to go? And I said, well, I don't know. I need somewhere to sleep. So he took me to the backpackers in Newcastle Street, and that's where I started off.
Wow. So you came here without even a plan, so to speak?
No plan. I thought, that's a good idea.
What a massive leap that is. So what did you then have to look for work in a place?
Yeah, so I looked for work. Started off at King Edward in theatre, working in theatre, but I actually really didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the surgeons, a lot of them, and I didn't enjoy the fact that you couldn't talk to the patients. It was like, oh, can you wake up so I can have a chat? Like, because it was so sterile. I was like, you know what? I really don't think this is for me. So I didn't last very long, unfortunately, and then worked around different hospitals a bit, and then decided, I'd go up to Cairns. I had a brother in Cairns at the time, so I thought, I'll go and check that out. So got on a bus and went up there.
Far out. So when did you meet your now husband, Merrick?
I was working up north. I'd come back to Perth and working up for our hospital, and I actually hurt my back on a really heavy patient. So I was stuck on night shift because it was a lot lighter.
That's like a problem that you never would even think of. But of course that makes sense for nurses, that heavier patients would be a bigger strain on your own body.
Yeah, especially when, and I was like, I need a change. So I rang the agency and said, what's something different I can do? And they said, there's this relief work up on a mine site as a OC health nurse. And I was like, that sounds like a good idea. So off I went, jumped on a plane.
There's a bit of theme that I'm sensing here, the way you just get an opportunity comes your way and you just say, yep, I'm in. And you just take it.
Yeah.
So you're on the mine site. I'm assuming that's where you then meet.
Kind of. I was there, and then Merrick came back. He'd been working down in Perth, came back up, and I remember seeing him out the window and thinking, quite like the look of him. It's because he was walking across the car park. And then I got chatting to him. I used to make really good hangover cures, so probably can't. Oh no, it is just what it is. So we
mining culture, drinking culture, they go hand in hand.
We used to meet up quite, reasonably frequently, and I knew he had a girlfriend, so I was like, oh well, no chance, But then he left site and he went to work in Papua New Guinea. And then he just kept in contact, and then we actually 25 years ago yesterday, we had our first date.
Oh, wow.
So there we go.
What did you do for that first date? Was it anything special?
I was still doing FIFO. We're just down at Cottesloe. Actually, there is a story, because we were going to go for a swim first. So I said, come to my apartment down at Cottesloe. And I went out to show him which apartment it was, because there were so many. And the wind slammed the door shut behind me and I didn't have my keys. And so first date,
oh no,
Merrick had to hoist me up over the first level balcony to get in through the open sliding door.
Brilliant. That's a great memory to have.
My goodness. You either die or you just do it, don't you? So, we just did it.
Brilliant. I love that. So for you didn't grow up in a Christian home. When did God kind of enter the picture for you?
I think when I was about 10, my eldest brother became a Christian, and he started taking Mum to church. So I remember kind of church then. I think younger, we used to walk up the road to the Presbyterian church, and Bible in school. When I was around that age, I had the most gorgeous Bible in school teacher, who ended up being at a church that we ended up going to with my brother. So I started to hear about God in that context, and that's when I remember inviting him into my heart. But because of my history, I was like, I just didn't know if he'd heard me. So I think I probably spent 2 years as a little kid, did you hear me? Can you come into my heart? And so that was the beginning of understanding.
Is that when you reckon you got serious about your relationship with him as well, or did that probably come later on?
I think at that time, I had a picture, and I used to watch the clouds, and there was a picture in the clouds. One year, I was home in the summer alone with Mum, because Dad used to send tickets down of who he wanted to see for the holidays, and that year it wasn't me, so I was the one left at home with Mum, and there was a cloud, and I can still see it, because I was like, oh, that must be God, and that's me and him, like just the way it was shaped. And that really sticks with me. So I think from then on, I did build my faith. I went to youth group for a few years, and so learnt a lot more about discipleship, but it was always kind of hanging on the end of my rope.
Yeah.
You know, God, I think it was Jesus who was the knot in the end of my rope. And God, I know I could take or leave. I really didn't meet him until probably 20, Sush was probably about 18 years ago. And I was in a worship time at church, and I felt like Jesus say, I want you to meet my Father. Because, of course, my father was not a father. And I was so scared. And he's like, no, I'm with you. And we did that, you know, in worship, in my imagination. And so that for me was kind of the beginning of getting to know God.
Wow. I love that. You've just hit us straight with two really quotable lines there. One being Jesus was the knot on the end of your rope, which I think is just a beautiful kind of piece of imagery. But the second one being, you know, God saying, I want to meet your Father. I want you to meet my Father, which I think, like you mentioned, that's actually a really significant thing for Jesus to request of people who have grown up in situations where their father hasn't been present or hasn't been a great father or something like that. And that's why it's actually quite hard for people in that situation to even be in a church, because there is so much talking and imagery about fathers. You know, when you come from a broken home, when a father hasn't been great,
you know,
the idea of having a heavenly father who is the greatest, you kind of go, oh, well, you know, why should I believe that?
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
that my earthly one wasn't.
Yeah.
Why would one that I can't see be that?
I think disappointment, my father, you know, the rejection and the disappointment was huge. But now my thinking is, why do we actually measure God by our earthly fathers? Really, we should be measuring our earthly fathers by God. Like, we've kind of got that round the wrong way, haven't we?
Yeah.
We should start with God and then, you know, go, well, no one's ever going to be like him.
Yeah, we're all going to fall short.
Yeah.
So to speak, yeah. I think when it comes to faith, a key part of it, which is, you know, for some people more real than others, is that trials, tribulations are as much a part of your faith as it is the good times, really. And I guess the question I'm kind of pitching for that is, tell us about some of the times where your faith has been rocked, where you've gone, whoa, I'm really drawing deep from the well of my faith here. I'm having to go really deep because it's, you know, life gets hard. Yeah,
it really does. And part of the reason I said no to doing this with you last year, Corey, was because I was like, God, I've got nothing but painful stories. How do I share that? Like, I so believe that my faith, because Jesus was my only rock, and so I always walked in faith, but I didn't always walk in the best that he had for me. Because I couldn't find an institution or a church, you know, that I felt comfortable in, or people that I felt accepted or comfortable with. I kind of just really much hung onto God. Like, that was all I really feel like I had. I never turned to people because as far as I was concerned. People disappoint you, and so it's always been God and me, Jesus and me, and so being part of something is the learning for me, how to be part of community. Lost track a little bit there, Corey.
That's all right. We're talking about, I guess, trials that you've experienced that have really tested your faith.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think really from the beginning, I think my life's been a trial, to be honest. Even though we've had so many happy times and things like that, life's been hard. Even once Merrick and I were married, we had our daughter. Merrick got very sick. We didn't know, if he was going to survive. And I had a 1-year-old. And we had to kind of walk through that and walk through what that meant for him in sort of the ensuing years after that. I've had miscarriages. I've had another child that I needed fertility help with. So there's just always something
ongoing.
Yeah. I mean, my daughter had medical issues that we had to kind of work our way around and work through, and I think I bring a basket of tough times.
Which isn't to say that that's not the uncommon, though. I say that because I feel like everyone, and this is never to I guess diminish someone else's struggles, because everyone has their own struggles, but they're all, the struggle that you're having is just as important as anyone else's. But it's almost as if for some reason humans, there's just as many bad times as there is good times for some reason, and there is no rhyme or reason to why that is, but it's just part and parcel. And for people like us, those are the times where we have to go, all right, well, when the going gets tough, it's time to push into God.
Yeah. Do you reckon, though, because I probably more and more have life is actually hard. Life here on earth is hard. Do you think we need to talk more about that and be more vulnerable about the fact that life is hard?
Absolutely, because I think that the narrative that we are given, whether it be from movies on TV or through any sort of media, really, is that life's sweet and it's going to be a walk in the park. You meet your partner, you get the great job that pays heaps of money, you buy that dream house, you have the 3 kids, and you all live till you're 100 and you die happy. But that's not the case at all. You've just listed off a series of struggles in your own life, and even in my life, I could list off a bunch, that have happened in the last 12 to 18 months as well. And it's almost as if it feels like it's doing a disservice to both the good and the bad times by saying that you just go from like good to bad, or from bad to good to good to bad to bad to good, and just like this pattern. It's almost as if like it's just all in this big bundle that is life. Some will be really good, some will be really bad, some will be minor bad, some will be just little bits of good, and sometimes it's just going to be flatlining and plateauing, and it's just nothing's great, nothing's bad. But it's just life. And we probably do need to normalize the conversation of going, when people ask, how are you? You actually go, well, actually, I'm really bad. I'm going through a really bad time. And that's probably really helpful, because when we start to do that, we start to have genuine conversations with people, as opposed to, how you going? Oh, I'm great, mate. Yeah, busy, but but I'm doing good. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, I think,
The something I was going to touch on with you in that is, and if you don't want to go down this route, there's by all means, we don't even have to as well. your husband doesn't necessarily share the depth of faith that you have. How's that been for you?
Yeah, a long time ago, Merrick came from a Catholic background, and we did marriage counselling with a minister. I was attending their church a little bit before we got married, and we did, the thing that they send away and come back, and the minister at the time, and I'm ashamed to say, he talked about the differences in our faith, and because Merrick came from a Catholic background, I was like, I've got no respect, for that, so young, naive, and having spent a few years in that evangelical circle. And the Lord really brought me up on that, and over the years following that, and so I very early on went, Lord, we're both on our own journeys, and Merrick's journey will not look like mine, and my journey will not look like his. So I just hand him over to you, and really the same with my children as well. I hand them over to you. You made them. You've got a purpose for them. I can only do the part that I can do. And so I thank you for who they're going to be in the future for you. And I think letting go of it must look like this, or it must look like that, or you must have a faith like that. Yeah. Which in those few years I was in that church, it felt very, these are the rules. This is what it has to look like. And yeah, so that's, sometimes it's, we're very different, but we always find the place in the middle to meet.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's really good. What would you say to people about living life well? It's one of the questions that we have in this podcast, which it might seem a little bit airy-fairy, so to speak, but we have it there for a reason. We've chosen it, and what would that be? What is a tip for people that you say, this is what I've found makes it a little bit easier?
I'm glad we've touched on that, because I feel like we left our life's tough hanging on a bit of a cliff.
Yes, yeah.
So it's good to pick that up again, because really, my tip would be start the day full. I mean, I love God, I love Jesus, and turn up to things full. So start with him full, because I think we are here to bring kingdom on earth. Yes, life is tough, but I'll tell you what, last year I actually found that place where it says you'll have peace beyond understanding. And there was a moment I was kneeling by my bed, and I felt like I was in so much emotional pain, but the peace of God. And it didn't make any sense, but it just made sense, So I think start the day full. I do prayer. I'll give another shout out for morning prayer, because it is such a good routine and a great way to start the day. That's Monday to Friday. And on Saturdays, if I get up and carry on my day, or think, I'll have my quiet time a bit later, I always feel a bit off kilter. And I'm like, what's going on? I've got more propensity to be a bit short or a bit grumpy, and I'm like, because I didn't have my prayer time straight, first thing in the morning. So I'd say start the day full, and remember that God is a good God.
It's simple, but I would say it's fantastic tips, really. It's something that I know for me that I should probably be doing better at, is that morning commitment. Because you're right, it does it starts the day off on the right foot. And it's showing, I guess, an intention to God as well. You're going, hey, God, I'm putting you before everything else today. Which I think is a fantastic kind of way of, I guess, directing your faith in your life. Absolutely.
that song that we used to sing, choose this day who you will serve. Well, it's scripture, isn't it? And I find some days I wake up, I've, had depression years and years ago, and I was suicidal for a lot of years. And that tiny space between becoming conscious in the morning and actually getting your thoughts together, for me, that's a space of that always was a danger zone. Of you could wake up and go, the weight of the day, the weight of having to be the person doing your day, the weight of having to carry your load, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So for me, that time I wake up, I say good morning God, good morning Dad, and generally I'll get up and have to spend, and then I may do other things, but then I'll spend time with him. But just that moment of space to fill it with him. Yeah. Yeah,
I think it's fantastic. It really is. And something that you mentioned in your answer there as well was talking about, I guess, building a kingdom, building God's kingdom here on earth, which is something that I guess Westcity is trying to do. And I would say that every church is trying to do, really. And part of that means that we have to address and call out certain things in life that might be unjust or might not be right. So what I want to ask you is there something like an injustice or a societal norm that you see currently that you go, that's not right, or I want to see God change the heart of that, or I want to see that change?
I'm one of those people, Corey, that see injustices everywhere. And I used to work in the health system, and in the end it drove me crazy because I find it so unjust. And I'm also one of those people that could feel completely overwhelmed with how much is wrong or unjust, or people just being rude to each other, I find disturbing. So again, I don't pick one. I go, God, like I do a little bit of volunteering with CARID because the refugee situation just makes me so mad. So I go, well, what can I do? I can do a little bit there. I think for me, that's why it's so important, to bring beauty into the world through creativity, but also to for people to know who they are, to know God as their Father, not just Jesus as their Saviour, to be in that place of going, we know how much we are loved, because then we can all be filled up and, I have not undivided hearts. And I just think enabling people to be full and step into where they need to be, and being able to share love and kingdom in that space, that for me will help to right wrongs. But really, I go, God, you're the only one that can right the whole really big wrong. But I do have a heart. I do have a heart for people to feel bold in being able to step into places and bring the kingdom.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
And I think we need to be whole to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely we do. How would you like to be remembered once this
podcast is finished?
Yeah. Yeah, well, true. But in a more real sense, when I guess when you pass on.
Yeah, when I die. I think that I loved well and that I brought beauty into the world.
I think that's, yeah. Well, I can say you're probably already very much doing that as well.
Thanks, Corey.
And I guess finally, this is something that we've always asked in the podcast so far, and it sews right into that question of how you want to be remembered. Is what would you like written on your tombstone then?
I'm not going to have a tombstone. I've already told my family I'd like a big rock.
Oh.
Like a big bit of granite or something. Because I love nature, I just want a big rock. If they want to put something on it, I would like, she said yes.
That is beautiful.
Because, that's my heart. I'm just like, God, I just want to keep saying yes. Because I think we have full lives to live, and I want to live my full life.
I think that's fantastic. She said yes. I think that there's so much depth in that, in those 3 words, really, which it's something that I guess God would love us to be saying as well. It's not just saying yes to God and what He has, but it's saying yes to life, saying yes to opportunity, saying yes to adventure. Wow, that's beautiful. It really, it's almost, I want to steal that and put it on my own. That's
Feel
great.
Free. Oh, hang on, it did come with a C for copyright. No.
Yeah, we'll engrave a C on that as well.
We better go and book the domain for it as well.
Yeah. Oh, well, Jen, thank you so much for giving up your time today on this weekend, on a hot day, and sharing a little bit with us about who you are and how you've come to be involved with Westcity. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Corey. Thanks for not giving up on me.
No worries at all. You were always earmarked for the podcast. It was just a matter of time that we got you on.
Yeah, the right time.
And I'd encourage anyone who's listening now that you've got to know Jen a little bit more, if you've never actually spoken to her, please, by all means, find her out, hunt her down, have a chat with her, talk to her about a whole range of things. She's got a wealth of experience and knowledge through life. She's an artist. She's a mother. She's a loving wife. Please, by all means, have a chat with her, and I'm sure you welcome them as well to come have a chat with you too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It'll be lovely. Cool.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Corey.
Thanks for listening to the Westcity Stories podcast. We hope you found today's interview enriching and inspirational.